back to another evening in the Stormcave. And I am throwing out the rest of our tagline because I can never remember. It usually takes me about 12 times to do it. So, welcome back to another evening in the Stormcave. I am your host, Grant Walker, and I'm here with my co host, Jenelle Schmidt. Janelle, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you, Grant?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. It's good to be able to kind of get back into a little bit of a rhythm with our podcast. And if you're new and just joining, we're gonna say that we finished our first season 3 or 4 months ago, and that we are begun season 2 of the show. And if you are just joining us for the first time, the heart and the purpose behind this show, in a nutshell, is wanting to celebrate and share and discover good and beautiful family entertainment that can be enjoyed as a family, whether it's books or movies or music. It's was a big part of our lives growing up, and it's a big part of our lives now with our own kids. And Janelle and I are siblings, and it is just something that's really important to us. And we think families sharing memories together, centered around storytelling, is very important for families. So we want to share that with you. We want to share our love of stories with you, but we would also love it if you guys would share your stories with us. We'll probably share some of the things that we love that you're all very familiar with, and some of the things that we talk about, maybe stories, music, books, movies that maybe are unfamiliar. We're always looking for those gems that we can enjoy as a family, whether it's Friday night pizza movie night, or listening to audiobooks in the car, or reading stories together at night. So please, in the comments below, on top of liking and subscribing to the show, thank you to our growing number of subscribers. But also, yeah, in the comments, we would love to hear some of your favorite stories that you love to share together as families. So, all that being said, that being our intro for this show, tonight we're going to talk about something that I feel is rather timely. We're going to talk about some of our favorite Christmas movies to enjoy during the entire month of December. I don't know about you, Janelle, but I actually don't mind starting the Christmas movies in November, but I do feel a little bit like, well, I do like to give Thanksgiving its due and allow it to celebrate its own space before I dive into watching Christmas movies.
Oh, same. I I listen to Christmas music year round. Most of the people who follow me as an author know that it's my writer's block cure. So Christmas music is not off limits to me in November, but Christmas movies we tend to wait until after Thanksgiving. We only watch them once a year and kind of like to keep them in that December timeframe.
Yeah. Now, something that I have noticed about myself as I've gotten older is if I love a movie, a lot of times I will like to just leave it out there and not rewatch it many, many times over, which probably separates me a little bit from mom and dad and Brittany, who they find their 5 movies, and that's the 5 movies they watch on repeat. Uh, but there are a number of movies that I do love for the Christmas season, but it seems like, oh man, every year I'm always looking for something new or something a little bit different. But there's also a number of Christmas movies that I would say I enjoy, but they're not always what I'm looking for. And I
Mhm.
think maybe it depends on the season of life. But in the last 2 to 3 years, I have really found myself looking for the quieter Christmas movies, and the quieter Christmas music. There's some that are out there that I love that are, zany or off the wall or are fun. But the movies that I've really been looking for, and the ones that are going to be on my list today, are tend to be a little bit on the quieter side, I would say. Um, how about for you and your family? Are there movies that you haven't seen as a family yet for the Christmas season? Or are there movies where it's like, oh, we love this one, but we're looking
I'm
for
sure.
different ones?
Yeah, I'm sure there are about 12 versions of A Christmas Carol we haven't yet seen. There is one version that I'm looking for that I remember watching as a kid. I remember we watched it multiple times as a kid. I loved it. I can't find it. I don't know which year or which actors it is. If anybody out there knows which version of A Christmas Carol has the boys, there's a scene in it where the boys are at the bottom of the church steps and they're sliding on the ice and the priest comes down the steps and shoos them all away, and then as soon as they're all out of sight, he
Yes.
takes a slide on the ice. It's
Yes.
not the Alastair Sims version, which I thought it was. We watched it recently and it's not. So now I'm stuck because I don't know which version that was, but
Is
that's
is
the one I really wanna see again.
is there a version with George C. Scott as Scrooge?
I'm sure there is, I don't know who that is.
That's Patton. He plays Patton, and he
Oh,
also
okay.
plays he plays the bad guy in The Rescuers Down Under.
That's
Um,
fantastic. Although
so
that's
he
just
would
his voice,
so
so
if there isn't one with George C. Scott, there should have been one.
should have
But
been.
I feel like we just saw that one last year. But that being said, I think that's a perfect segue for me to dive into my first movie, which, by
Go
the
for it.
way, I noticed we're both wearing plaid shirts today. That was not planned, but
I was just
just
like, it's Christmas season, I gotta put on red.
Christmas season.
We got my green
I
lights back there, my red shirt, I'm all Christmassy.
Yes, yes. Mine was more practical. It's freezing out here in my office. I went outside this morning and my heater is encased in ice, which
Ooh,
seems odd.
counterproductive? Was the
Um,
heater off?
it was on, but the fan was encased in ice, so
Where?
it was not producing the way I would want it to. So I was looking up.
Yeah.
I thought I started boiling a bunch of pots of hot water because I thought, oh, this would be really smart. I'll just pour hot water over it. And I just then on a whim decided to check if that was a good idea. Apparently, it's not a good idea. You will
Home
blow
tip.
up your pipes or something bad will
Okay.
happen, and you'll break your heater that's broken.
That would
So,
that would be bad. Let's not
don't
do
wanna
that.
do that. But I digress. But speaking of A Christmas Carol, the first movie that's on my list that, again, a lot of these movies there's movies that I enjoy that I would consider Christmas movies, but I don't think that they are family appropriate Christmas movies. Or or not necessarily ones that you would sit down and watch for Christmas. For example, Die Hard, I do qualify that as a Christmas movie. Rocky 4, also a Christmas movie because he fights Ivan Drago on Christmas Day. So therefore, it's a Christmas movie. But
Yes.
that's not one that we
Jumanji ends at Christmas.
yes, Christmas movie. So I don't know that I've ever watched those movies during the Christmas season though. So and I don't know that they're ones that I would sit down and watch with my family. So those ones are
Well, Jumanji
off
you
the list.
could.
Yes, although I think, my kids were terrified of the, monkeys? Out of all the things to be terrified
Oh,
movies, it seems like monkeys are the ones that really get my kids going.
gotcha. So no
But
Wizard of Oz for you.
no Wizard of Oz. No. Flying monkeys, that's would be horrific. But, one of the, movies on my list that we've watched it a couple times, we saw it when we were younger, and we watched it last year, and it was just reminded that it's got a perfect amount in my mind of just fun and goofy stuff that the kids love and that I actually enjoy, but it's also just got a heart of gold and is super sweet, and that's The Muppets Christmas Carol with Michael
Yes.
Caine playing Scrooge, and you want to talk about a perfect balance. You've got the Muppets to handle all of the fun, zany craziness, and then you've got Michael Caine, who just makes it much more beautiful and poignant than maybe it would have ever been otherwise. It's got some fun songs, the kids all enjoy it, but it's also very beautiful for us as adults. So I really love that movie. I think we watched
Yeah.
it last year with mom and dad, and I don't know if they had seen that one before, or at least remembered seeing it before,
I don't
and they
think they had.
so
We never watched that one growing up, and I never really knew why. Like, I knew people had watched it, and then I finally watched it a couple years ago and was like, "I love this movie. It's fantastic." I love that Michael Caine plays Scrooge as serious as a heart attack and treats all the Muppets as if they are human, and
yeah.
that's why the movie works.
Yes, I don't know how he was able to do that because but it's great. Yeah, it's just absolutely wonderful, and maybe, should be fairly well known, but also, if you have not seen it, it is a wonderfully sweet, charming, and also very funny movie all around.
Yeah.
So, very much enjoy that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Me too. And I would have said up until a couple years ago that Michael Caine was the perfect Ebenezer Scrooge until I saw Christopher Plummer take it over in The Man Who Invented Christmas, which is my Christmas is a good segue, so we'll just go to that one. That's a newer one that I have fallen in love with, and while it isn't really kind of your typical standard Christmas movie, it is a Christmas movie because it's about Charles Dickens writing A Christmas Carol, and as an author myself, that one is just really funny and entertaining in the way that his characters come to life and speak to him and, uh, have notes for him on how he's writing the story, and just also just kind of the story behind the beloved classic is great fun, and Christopher Plummer is such a great Ebenezer Scrooge, so
Oh, he's wonderful, and we hadn't seen that movie until it was either last year or the year before was the first time I had seen it and saw it, based off of your recommendation, and yeah, a beautiful Christmas movie, but another one where it's like it's happening around Christmas. Obviously, it ties into Christmas because, The Christmas Carol is about Christmas, but also about so much more than that, and just the human story of that
Mhm.
you get to see of Charles Dickens. And yes, brilliant, witty writing, and absolutely, in my mind, beautiful cinematography. The
Oh, yeah.
lighting in that movie and it just has a very earthy, rich, colorful, just beautiful look to every scene. To me, it's one of those movies where you could take any scene or many of the scenes and they would make beautiful paintings.
Mhm.
And so just a beautiful movie, the way it's shot, the way it's acted, the way it's written. Uh,
Yeah,
Yeah, it's beautiful all around, all around.
absolutely.
And that
What's your next movie?
well, that reminds me, like, thinking of that movie to where it's happening around Christmas. I mean, to me, it's one that everybody has seen and maybe they're tired of seeing it every year, but I have not seen this movie in a number of years, partly because I wanna watch it with my family, with my kids, but I wanted to wait because it's one where when your kids are younger, it would probably come across as being boring, or dull, maybe, but I love this movie. It's my favorite all-time Christmas movie, probably one of my favorite movies of all time is It's a Wonderful Life, and similar to The Man Who Invented Christmas, if you watch it, it's not really a movie about Christmas. It happens around Christmas time, and the climax of the movie, it is Christmas, but it's about life. It's about everything. It's about relationships. It's a love story. It's a story of a man whose dreams have changed, or dreams have been crushed, and then just realizing how beautiful life is and the life that he has is and how much more beautiful it is even than the one that he thought that he was pursuing. And uh, sometimes I think those are the best kinds of movies where, yeah, it's a Christmas movie, but there's really no reason why you couldn't watch this movie on July 4th. Uh, so kind of similar to The Man Who Invented Christmas. I think it is a Christmas movie, but it's just a beautiful movie, in its
Oh,
own right.
absolutely.
And again, I know there's people who, you may have seen this movie every year and you're looking for something different, and if so, that's totally fine. I understand that, but it will always be, one of my all-time favorite movies. So I would be remiss not to at least mention it.
Oh, yeah, that
Those
one's
movies.
top of my list too. I mean, that is our December 24th movie
Oh, is it
every
really?
year.
Right on.
Yes, every year. It's Christmas Eve movie, and, Derek doesn't make a lot of, requests when it comes to Christmas movies. I think he likes watching Christmas movies, but I think he could totally do without most of the Christmas movies that I wanna watch,
Mm.
um, which are not Hallmark Christmas movies. Those are not on my list. But I do have a lot of those, like, older and kind of maybe a little corny, 80s and 90s Christmas movies that are my favorites, and that are a little slower, but It's a Wonderful Life is always he's like, "December 24th, It's a Wonderful Life. That's what we're doing."
Yeah,
Cool.
I like that, and I
I
think
have no arguments.
for sure, and I think this year
I
might be
have
the
no
year.
notes.
No, no, no notes. Perfect. Chef's kiss. No notes. Um, no, this might be the year where, we get to sit down and watch as a family. I know, uh, my daughter who's 12 and my son who are 10, they would get it. They would enjoy
Yeah.
it. My son Luca would probably go hide behind the couch as I would have at the age of 8. But I'm looking forward to that. And that's
Yeah.
a good question. So for us, Angelina, my wife, her side of the family, the movie we watch every year is White Christmas. And
Mm.
sometimes it's just on, and so you catch parts of it. And it's
Mhm.
funny because I think the first time I had seen that movie, I don't know, it wasn't one that we watched much growing up, but it has become one to where I would say there is a storyline in the movie that I love, and it's
Mhm.
beautiful, and we'll watch it for that. And, some of I think there's certainly parts where I don't mind, skipping or missing some of it, but there is the whole storyline of the 2 soldiers, uh, and the storyline between them and their commanding officer, their, maybe a general, and that's I think who is that? That's Danny Kaye and
I don't remember the other guy. I know he's, like, a really famous.
Bing Crosby, I think.
Yes.
I was gonna say Frank Sinatra.
I was gonna say Fred Astaire, so I was like, but
No,
no, you said Bing
Bing
Crosby. I was like, "Nope, that's
Crosby,
who it is."
Danny Kaye, and they're great
We're super
together.
knowledgeable about the actors and actresses.
They are, they are. So, anyways, there's some very beautiful elements in that movie, and so
Yep,
we watch that. It's usually on, um, I don't know if we've sat down and watched it, but
yep.
it's been put on in the background, so that's one that we watch every year.
That's
Uh,
one that we have not watched as a family yet. Uh, Partially because I forget about it because it is one that we didn't grow up with,
yeah.
mostly because our mom really hates Danny Kaye.
That's disappointing. The Court Jester is
I know,
an all-time when we were in one of our
but not a
episodes,
Christmas movie.
maybe our next episode. Yes, yes. Yeah, well, he's very good in small doses, I think.
Yeah, I like Danny Kaye,
So,
but that's alright. We're good.
yes.
And that's a very serious role for him in White Christmas.
As serious as he can be, I mean, he is
Yeah,
the fun
true.
in the movie,
That's true.
uh, but there's some good songs
Yeah.
and
Okay, serious compared to Court Jester. I mean, it's all a comparison, but yeah,
for sure,
degrees of
for sure, for sure.
uh
Yeah, any others on your list?
Yeah, you were talking about, beautiful movies and quieter movies and movies where almost every scene could be a painting, and I would be remiss not to mention The Christmas Miracle of Jonathan Toomey,
That's on my list too.
because that one is just it is quiet. A lot of people have read the book. A lot of people don't know there is a movie. So there is a movie. If you love the book, then you should go look it up. It's very similar. They changed a few things. They gave a little bit more of a backstory to the kid and his mom, and I think it's beautiful. I think it works really well. And but yeah, every scene in that movie, despite the fact that I don't think they shot it actually outdoors. I think it's an indoor built set,
Hmm,
but it looks real. And it's yeah, every scene could be a page out of a book, just a beautiful illustration. And it's a beautiful
yeah,
story about a grumpy old guy and how or he seems old, right? In the book, you get this whole idea that he seems older than he is because he's so grumpy, because he's so, just had it up to here with life. And then how this young boy and his mom kind of intrude on his quiet, peaceful, you know, home because he's they want him to build this nativity set replacement for them, and just how that brings him back to life, and
yeah.
and that friendship that is forged there is just beautiful and very much a Christmas movie.
Yeah, very much, and would highly recommend if you're looking for a beautiful picture, illustrated book to read as a family. The Christmas Miracle of Jonathan Toomey is that, and agreed, it's on my list as just a beautiful Christmas movie, perfectly cast. Tom Berenger plays Jonathan Toomey, and he is, I think, one of the most underrated actors of his generation. Um, I don't think he had as many opportunities uh, to show up in in movies that I have seen, but the ones that I have seen him in, that would be one of them. I love him in you guys just watched Gettysburg, did you make it through it?
We've gotten through a third of it. Not because
That's
we don't
disappointing.
want to watch it, it's
No, for
just
sure.
6 hours long.
Fair enough, fair enough. But he is fantastic as General Longstreet in that, not a Christmas
Yes,
movie, but on my list. And
absolutely.
you had told me you were watching it, so yeah, absolutely. I love that movie, so like I said, it was on my list also.
Mhm.
The next one on my list is not a movie, and I don't even know how I would describe it to be able to find it because I think it's a compilation of episodes, but you would remember this, Jill, but because we watched it a couple times and we watched it last Christmas and it was beautiful. So I'd have to figure out how we found it and maybe we'll put in the notes what it's called, but it's the Little House on the Prairie Christmas special episode, but it's the one where the whole family comes. It's for they're coming on Christmas Eve and a big snowstorm comes up and they can't leave even though many of them are trying to. And so the whole episode kind of focuses on them sharing their favorite Christmas memories. Now, I don't know because it's been so long since I watched Little House on the Prairie if each of their memories is actually an episode or if they were just shot for this particular episode, but they've got the story of Mr. Edwards, crossing the river to come and that's just one of the stories. But there's probably 4 or 5 short little stories being told that's shown through video flashbacks or film flashbacks, and they're all beautiful and it's sweet and it's charming, and it's probably a 45-minute to 1 hour special. But it is one that whenever I get a chance to, I always love to watch that around Christmas time too.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one in a long time, but I love that one too. That one's very pretty. Um, let's see. Next on my list. Well, I'm gonna have to go a little bit zany since I mean this has been beautiful, but I personally like some of the zanier movies. And as I was mentioning, a little bit on the cornier, maybe 80s side of things. So one of my favorites that we watch like every other year, because that's how often I can get my family to watch it with me, is The Night They Saved Christmas,
Yes.
which is very classic 80s family movie in which you kind of got this bratty little kid and he has to learn a lesson. And then at
Yeah.
the end, family is important and beautiful and it's wonderful and they save Christmas. So,
Yes. Yeah, we were just it's funny, we were just talking about that because I love that movie, and we were just watching it. It's funny 'cause, I was trying to get Angelina excited about it, and she had never seen it, and so she was kinda skeptical already, and it's one of those '80s movies, like all '80s movies, where 99.8% of it is just perfectly sweet, but at the very start, they have to show that this young child has issues that need to be resolved because there needs to
right,
be character development.
right. I
So,
mean,
one of the
in their
first
defense, they understood the need for a character arc.
Yes, they did, and it is beautiful, but at the start, he's he's going through a rough time. He's going through a rough time, and it just shows
Being bullied at
itself in
school
some
and
outbursts
yeah,
towards his poor dad,
yeah,
who just needs to go drill for oil.
yes.
Um,
It's all he wants to do is
yeah,
just go.
but it is one of my favorite depictions of Santa Claus.
Absolutely.
And what's funny is, it's an '80s movie, it's cheesy, it's corny, but it it takes it just serious enough to as a child, like, it made it very real for me, like,
Yeah.
just the magic of Christmas,
Absolutely,
and
and
I
the
love that.
magic of they go to I mean, not to spoil anything, but they do go to the North Pole, and they meet Santa
Yes.
Claus, and they go to and they visit Santa's village, and his house, and his wife, and it's all beautiful, and handcrafted, and looks like, yes, this is a house that has been built with loving care by hand, back in the day when they built everything with real wood, and so there's parts of it that are just so almost achingly beautiful, and then it's, like, juxtaposed with parts where Santa Claus is really mad at the elves for singing Jingle Bells because he's sick of that song, and so but it works.
Yeah, absolutely, and I would think that this would be one that, many people have not seen. It's a little hard to find, but if you can find The Night They Saved Christmas, uh, yeah, it's a lot of fun and a beautiful movie as well, and it's on my list also, so
So amazing that we have similar movies on our lists, it's like we grew up in the same house or something.
it is. So my next one on the list was gonna be another another melancholic sad no, not really, but I'm gonna skip to, one of my all-time favorite Christmas movies that is off the wall. It's in a series of movies that I love just for the nostalgia of it's what we grew up with. I'm not allowed to watch them in my house because my wife can't stand them, but this one, of all in the series is actually super sweet and a lot of fun. The kids enjoy it, and I still get a kick out of it, maybe just for the nostalgia of it, but and that's Ernest Saves Christmas. And
Yes.
we don't watch it every year. Like I said, a lot of times we may have to watch it sometime during the season when maybe Angela's not home because I don't think she can stand to look at the screen when Ernest is on the screen, but which
So sad.
probably
Fair, fair.
probably is
You
is
have to
a
be introduced
positive
to
thing.
you have to be introduced to Ernest at a young age, I think, in order to be able to handle him in large doses, but I love
For sure,
Ernest
for
so
sure.
much.
Yes, and
And
of
Ernest
all the
Saves
movies.
Christmas isn't even my favorite of them,
No, mine neither. Mine neither. But I do love it this time of year,
yes.
and the kids, we watched it for the first time last year, and it's always fun when you share a movie with your kids that you know is ridiculous and just from your generation, and they still get a kick out of it.
Yes.
Because I don't know, maybe I'm looking for, like, validation for the things I love, but, it was a lot of fun. They got a kick
It
out of
is
it,
fun.
and
Yes.
it is just, if you're looking for something, truly goofy. Maybe goofier than something like Elf or,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But it's one that I enjoy.
Yes. Well, speaking of movies that, our spouses kinda hate and don't wanna be in the same room with, one of our favorites and we're not watching it this year because even though it was on almost everybody's list, we did watch it last year, but Prancer is another favorite of mine. It's again, it's a little bit on that softer, calmer side of things, but, yeah, it's just I think it's just, uh I don't even know why Derek doesn't like it. I think it's too slow and there aren't enough explosions, really. But it's just beautiful. It's this story about a little girl who finds a wounded reindeer, and it's kind of weird to see an actual reindeer, like, Santa reindeer, not a, white-tailed deer in her area, and so she is nursing it back to health, absolutely convinced that it is one of Santa's reindeer, and, but it's just set against the backdrop of this family struggling. The mom has passed away, you kind of assume recently, we don't really know, and so it's this dad, and he's a apple farmer, orchardist, and, he's just trying to make ends meet and take care of his 2 kids and feeling like he's failing in every way, and his kids don't think he's failing in every way, but he does, and he's holding himself to a much higher standard because he's trying to be mom and dad, and, so you've got the clash of that and just this little girl who she's she's almost the exact opposite of the kind of the kid in The Night They Saved Christmas who's a little bit bratty at the beginning. She's not at all bratty, she's just super sweet and super dear and super absent-minded and just kind of lives in her own world, and this is like a source of great frustration for her dad who's trying to be like, "Life is hard, and I need your help with
Responsibility.
things," and she's like, "Santa's reindeer." So, it's very adorable, a delightful movie.
It is, and
Mm.
the whole movie is beautiful, it's on my list. That was the one that I was gonna go to before
Oh,
this.
well, there you
But,
go.
Sam Elliott plays the dad, and, the whole price of admission, he is the price worth the price of admission. And he has a not so much a monologue, otherwise it's a reading that he does at the end that is, yeah, it is beautiful,
Yep.
always leaves me in tears, but in, like, a beautiful way,
Yeah.
and it is one that we love, and it's kinda like I was saying at the start, there's movies that I love that sometimes I, like, want to, maybe hold off every year or 2 because I don't want them to become old or
Mhm.
normal, I want them to remain, like, beautiful and out there,
Yeah.
so I don't know that I think we may have watched it last year, and we may watch it again this year. It's always on our list. It just depends if we're get around to seeing it. That kind of I don't really have any other ones on my list that we didn't have that were shared. Do you have
Okay.
any others?
Well, just to kind of bring it to a little bit more of that zany, because I do love the zany movies. I love Jingle All the Way. I love
Yes.
Ernest Saves Christmas, and so I'm always kind of looking for new fun Christmas movies, partially because we do have 2 boys, but also Leanna, my oldest daughter, really loves action movies, and so last year we discovered The Christmas Chronicles, with, Kurt Russell, who is I mean, he features in almost all of my favorite movies. It's kind of ridiculous. The kids have, like,
Notice
this
that.
running joke about it. Yeah, he is in all of them. It's like, "Oh, oh, that's Kurt Russell again." So I really liked him as Santa Claus in that movie. I did not think that was going to work, but I do think that he had a chat with his agent and was like, "From now on, I'm only gonna play roles where I look really cool," and he does.
Yes.
And so I really like that one. We wanna watch the second one this year. We haven't seen it yet, so I don't know, but I've heard from a friend that it's good. And then the other one that we discovered last year that I just fell in love with, and it's so ridiculous, but Red One
Oh, really?
is fantastic.
Really? Okay, I have not seen that one.
Yes. Okay. It's, what's the guy's name? Um, JP Simmons? Is that his name?
Oh, yeah, Simmons, J.K. Simmons.
Simmons. JK Simmons?
Yes, indeed.
Um, anyway, plays a very different Santa Claus. Uh, so, he's a Santa Claus who can lift, 300 pounds. He's because I think J.K. Simmons is actually quite a bodybuilder. And you've got The Rock playing Santa's bodyguard. And if you ever really, really, really wanted a movie that felt like um, Christmas meets Marvel, this is
Oh,
it.
right on,
There's
right
like
on.
this fantastical, but it's fast paced and it's chase scenes in a sleigh and it's awesome. So yeah, Derek and I watched it because we were like, "Oh, this is new and whatever," and it was on Amazon, and we watched it, and the next night we watched it with the kids.
Oh, really?
So,
Oh,
yes,
right on,
this is really fun.
right on. We'll have to add that to our list. We had seen the Christmas Chronicles, going back to your previous one, last year on your
Mhm.
recommendation. And that was one where I'd seen it, and I think I was so I couldn't wrap my head around Kurt Russell being Santa, and so I was like, "Ah, I don't
Right.
think so. I don't think so." And
Yeah,
we ended up watching it, and it was great. It was great.
yeah,
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot
it's
of fun.
super fun.
Yeah.
Cool.
So there's plenty of other movies that we do love that aren't
Oh,
on this list, and just
absolutely.
because we're not mentioning them doesn't mean they aren't favorites. I think sometimes we're
Yeah,
trying to look for the options that maybe you haven't seen a little bit. But I love the
yep.
Santa Claus. That's one that we'll probably
Oh,
watch
yeah.
every year. We actually, on your recommendation, we started last year, but watching the series, the Santa Claus with
Mhm.
Tim Allen, and that was a lot of fun. We haven't finished it,
Yep.
but we'll probably pick up kind of where we left off last year because we really like that one. We love watching Jingle All the Way as a family. It's
Mm,
kind of that fun and more zany option, but that's one that
yep.
we really enjoy as well. I love Miracle on 34th Street, uh, especially the newer one. We actually
Mhm.
watched the older version last year, right around Thanksgiving, but I love the new one with Richard
Mhm.
Attenborough,
Yeah.
and you would recognize the young actress.
She plays Matilda.
Plays Matilda. She's
Yeah.
just a
Oh, she's
brilliant young
adorable and
actress and
fantastic,
is
yes.
perfect for that role. And that's a beautiful movie, but a lot of fun, and the kids got a kick out of that one.
Yeah.
Uh, so there's
We have a
there's
we have
a lot of
a bunch
others.
of like, shorts that we like to watch. Either we
Oh,
throw
really?
it in with a movie or sometimes we'll just watch, like, okay, we're just gonna watch all 4 of them. So, like, the kids there's, How to Train Your Dragon, Homecoming
Mhm.
is a Christmas episode. It's, like, 28 minutes long,
Oh,
and
right on.
it's kind of a beautiful tie-in between the TV series and then, the 3rd movie, which is fun. Or actually no, I think it's after the 3rd movie, so it gives you, like, an epilogue to the movies, which is really fun. We also love, Phineas and Ferb's, Christmas Vacation, which is just again, it's like a 34-minute episode, it's like a longer episode, and Doofenshmirtz is trying to ruin Christmas, and so that one's fun. We love, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the original cartoon, and a couple of others that are just shorts like that, where it's like, a Christmas episode of a cartoon that we like. So, we have a couple of those that are always on the list too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I was just there was I can't remember, but we watched it maybe a year or 2 ago, but I don't know if it's a full movie or just an episode, but there's a Winnie the Pooh, Christmas episode that we love. So yeah,
Yeah.
very, very, uh, much agree with that.
Yep. Yeah, this year we all made lists of our top 5 that we wanted to watch this year because Derek was like, "Okay, we cannot fit 40 movies into 25 days."
Come on. Challenge accepted.
I know. Well, and then I'm always doing silly things like trying to throw, you know, all the Harry Potter movies on there because they all have a Christmas part or,
You know, what's funny is so that would be another good question, and we don't want this to go overly long, but just
No.
like in terms
Mm.
of movies that I associate with Christmas,
Right?
that I love watching in the Christmas time of year, not as a Christmas movie, but the first Harry Potter especially. One of my
Yes.
favorite, like, just because the whole movie was so magical and, like,
Mhm.
90% of it wasn't plot, it was just introducing you to the world, was the first Harry Potter movie. And that whole scene, "Happy Christmas, Harry, Happy Christmas, Ron," just felt like Christmas to me. And the
Yeah,
Fellowship of
absolutely.
the Ring, especially,
Yeah.
that first Christmas season of over Christmas break,
Oh, yeah.
watching the Fellowship of the Ring
Yes.
7 times or 11
Yes,
times, whatever
7
it was,
times, 7
7
times
times,
in theaters.
and
Well, and
that was a
because they came
magical
out
3-year period of time.
yes, yes, it was, and because they came out at Christmas, I do associate them with
Christmas
Christmas.
movies.
Yeah, and it has elves,
Yes, it does.
and
Alright,
a guy
good
with a long
times.
beard, and yeah.
Yes. Yes, I never thought about it that, uh, detailed, but
A
yes,
meme.
it is. So,
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Not so much in
so
the wardrobe has Father Christmas breaking through, so yes, it would be interesting to know, from our listeners, what movies do you consider Christmas movies that maybe aren't
yeah,
and but should defend them to the death as Christmas movies?
and that you watch
Or
every Christmas or around the Christmas
yes,
time of year, for
yes.
sure.
And also, what movies did we not mention that you love at Christmas time that maybe are more standard Christmas movies? Because I am like you, Grant, I'm always looking for new ones.
Yes, absolutely, please share if there's ones that you think we haven't seen or that weren't mentioned here, list them below because
Yeah.
we have our list for this year. But like I said, I'm always one of the things we talked about this earlier. I'm always looking for new stories to gift the kids on Christmas morning. And now that they're getting a little older, those are becoming more movies or shorter novels. Whereas in the past, there's a lot of illustrated stories. So always anything that I can gift my kids in the way of sharing stories with them, I'm looking to do. So yeah, please share yours in the comments below, and if we see one that we haven't seen, we'll give it a look and then maybe tell you in the next episode if your taste is good or bad.
Yeah. Man, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing if you already have. If you haven't and this has entertained you at all, maybe hit that button. And if you think somebody needs to hear a whole list of Christmas movies, share this episode with them. But other than that, we just thank you so much for coming in for a little bit of time out of the storm, joining us here in the storm cave where stories live and breathe and family memories are cherished. And we just invite you to come back and hang out with us again next time. Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas.